Long before the two men at the top of Enron were convicted of fraud and conspiracy, their misdeeds were forcing changes in the way publicly traded companies do business.
Thank you all. Please be seated.
Less than a year after Enron's collapse, and as a direct result of it, the president signed a new code of business ethics into law. It's called Sarbanes-Oxley, a measure that holds CEOs like Ken Lay and Jeffrey Skilling accountable. And it requires them to certify what they tell their investors is true. It sounds simple enough, but in practice, it is complicated, very complicated. The list of mandated checks and balances in the law is mind-numbing, and the extra man-hours it takes some companies to comply is costing some of them millions of dollars a year. But for people like Bob Hirth, that burden is actually a boon. His company, Protiviti, was created by former employees of Enron's former accounting firm, Arthur Andersen, who also went down in the debacle. But he's now making a killing helping other companies comply with Sarbanes-Oxley.
The better companies have become better, and those that found they had poor controls, the good news is the legislation makes it very hard for them to stay poorly controlled.
Although Hirth never worked on Enron's balance sheets, it's hard to ignore the irony that the same scandal that brought down an accounting giant has in the end been a financial windfall for the accounting business. Some you might not expect, like Viper motorcycles outside Minneapolis.
Sarbanes-Oxley created a lot of accounting jobs in corporate America. It's almost, you should rename it the Accountants Employment Act or something.
As Viper's CFO, Gary Lowenthal helped bring his company into compliance with the Sarbanes-Oxley provisions before taking it public.
We'll start up here.
He says it makes perfect sense. After all, he's trying to be as sparkling to investors as those $30,000 bikes he offers.
These numbers fairly represent the financial condition of a company. Sounds kind of boring, but the truth is, that's a good starting point, isn't it?
4 years later, companies are still paying for Enron's mistakes. There may be no easy ride anymore, but the road to success is already proving to be a more truthful one.